Alright, ladies and gentlemen, in this video I'm going to show you how to identify trends in Forex. Really not hard to do. There's multiple ways to do it. In this video I'm going to show you the most simplistic way to do it. This works on any time frame, any pair. You can use on the 1 hour, 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 4 hour, daily, weekly, monthly. Use on Euro, USD, USD CAD, any pair. It really does not matter. Just basic market structure. That's all that this is. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with market structure, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But how I mark out my zones, I like to scroll out to have a nice bird's eye view of what price is currently doing. I don't like to be so zoomed in to where I'm looking at all this intricate details of price. I don't like doing that. It kind of gives me anxiety, to be honest with you. And who likes having anxiety? That sucks while trading. It messes with your emotions. Don't like that. So how I find friends and how I market my zones, pretty simple. Obviously, if I'm looking here, price is not trending whatsoever. Price is just ranging. But what I do see is that price is finding resistance right here. And why do I say it found resistance? Well, simply because price was heading up, found resistance, and just dropped. Not once, but I kept doing it. It came back up into this area, dropped again, came back up, dropped again, came back up, dropped again, came back up, dropped again. This is a pretty established resistance that formed right here, where a lot of people are looking at. Now, when I'm marking up the zones, you're going to find that they are going to be the most obvious zones on the chart. They stick out like a sore thumb. It's honestly really hard to miss it. So if we're just looking just from here, like all this data from here to here, this is where we're going to be looking at. Price is obviously going up, so we're only going to be looking for buys, meaning we're only going to be marking up resistance zones and not support zones. So if we're starting from here, since we have a nice bird's eye view of what price is doing, all you're going to be doing is looking where price is stalling out at and where price is reversing and dropping back down. So if we're going to be looking here, after price broke out of this resistance, it kept going up. Now it kept going up until it found resistance and fell back down significantly. Now if I go back down to here, when price came back up and dropped down, I didn't mark that out. Why did I not mark that out? Because it's not anything significant. Now, while yes, you could have marked this out as a valid resistance zone, and would that be fine? Yes, it would be fine, but that's not how I do it. Like I said before, look for the most obvious supports and resistance zones. And right here, it's pretty obvious. Price, sweeps past this zone, finds resistance, and it drops back down pretty significantly. So in this case, I can grab my little rectangle and just place it down in the general area. Now your zones don't have to be perfect. They're just general places where price will come back down and react to. So you don't have to pinpoint your zones like this. You can just draw them out pretty loosely. Would be the best thing to do, in my opinion. So once price breaks out of this zone, it then finds what? It finds resistance and falls back down pretty significantly. So if I take out my drawing box, once again, I can mark this out. Now, the only thing is with this scenario is that price is slashing in and out of the zone. If you notice price is slashing in and out of the zone like it's doing here, then what you can do is just modify your zone to the most recent area where price fell at, which would be around this area. So this would be our new resistance zone where price found resistance at and fell back down. Now what you would be waiting for is for price to then sweep past that resistance zone and then create a new resistance, which it does right in this area. It does that right here. So then you could mark out this zone as your resistance zone and wait for price to break it. Once price breaks it, price then finds more resistance. Price then retraces back down into its support zone here and bounces away. If we're just looking at price data like this, I would have this zone marked out as my resistance zone, and I would be waiting for that to break and for the trend to continue. But in this case, that did not happen, and the trend ended. And why do I say the trend ended? Is because this is the last low that made this new high. So if price were to break this low, which it did, price is now in a downtrend because it broke this last higher low. So now we're in a downtrend. Now we can apply the same basic knowledge into a downtrend. So if I just come back over here, right? Once we were in an uptrend right here, price then breaks this low and creates a downtrend. So what are we looking for? Now we're not looking for resistance anymore because we're not looking to buy. So this would not be a valid zone because we're in a bearish trend. If you're marking out zones like this, you're kind of implying that price is going to break above this zone, come back down, retest it, and then go up. Kind of defeats the purpose of a downtrend. So now if we're going down, if price looks like it's going down, what you want to do is you want to look at where price is bouncing away from. So once we break this zone here, price keeps falling and keeps falling. This is where price stalls out at, and this is where price starts to bounce away. So we get this nice bounce away from this area. What that tells us is that we can mark this up as a nice support zone. Now once we have this marked up as a support zone, all we're going to do is wait for price to then break this zone and then wait until it forms a new support zone. Now price doesn't create a significant support zone until all the way down here. Once price reaches all the way down here and it bounced away significantly, we can mark this out as a support zone and wait for this to break, come back up to retest, and then for it to continue the trend. But that didn't happen. Ultimately, price just kept going up and it created its uptrend, leading us up to where price is now. And that is how you mark up your zones and how you find trends within the Forex market. Really not too simple. I know it can be confusing, but just take this, practice on whatever time frame you want to use and whatever currency pair you want to use, and just practice with it. Practice makes perfect. But anyways, guys, if you have any questions and if you want me to go deeper into the subject, let me know in the comments below and I'll explain more on how to identify trends and all that. But for now, I hope you guys enjoy this video and happy trading this week. I hope you all have a profitable trading week. I hope that this week is going to be an awesome week for us. But regardless, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, great week. Bye bye.